Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Classic Comics. And today I'm going to be reviewing the season premiere of The Mandalorian. Now, be aware there are spoilers in this review, so if you haven't seen it yet, you should probably go watch the episode first. Now, let's face it, 2020 has pretty much sucked. It's been a long year, but you know what? None of that matters anymore because we're finally getting the return of our favorite hero in the Star Wars universe. No, not him. No, Baby Yoda. Yeah, talking about Baby Yoda. Let's face it, he's the real star of the show. Although, if he's why you're tuning in, you're probably going to be disappointed because he really doesn't do a whole lot in this episode. So, we pick up with Mando and Baby Yoda as Mando is seeking other Mandalorians who can lead him to the child's own kind. Presumably, this means others of Yoda's species, but I suspect it's going to actually turn out to be other Jedi. Now, the Mandalorian approaches a guy called Gor Koresh, who is an Abyssin who supposedly knows where to find Mandalorians. Koresh demands the Beskar armor in exchange for the information, and Mando refuses. Koresh and his goons try to kill Mando, but he defeats them pretty easily and captures Koresh. Koresh then reveals that another Mandalorian is operating on Tatooine in a town called Mos Pelgo. So they return to Tatooine, and the Mandalorian and the child are reunited with the mechanic Pelimato, who we saw last season, and she reveals the location of Mos Pelgo, which is a town everyone thought was destroyed and doesn't appear on most maps. Mando travels to Mos Pelgo on a speeder bike and then goes to the local saloon where he meets the town's marshal, Cobb Vanth, who's wearing Mandalorian armor that looks a lot like Boba Fett's. Now, realizing that Vanth isn't really a Mandalorian, Mando demands he turn over the armor. Then their standoff gets interrupted by the appearance of a crate dragon that has been terrorizing the town. Vanth offers to return the armor in exchange for help in ridding the town of the dragon, and Mando agrees. They then head out to find the dragon, and as they travel, Vanth explains that after the destruction of the Death Star, a mining collective took over the town and turned it into a slave camp. Vanth escaped into the desert where he was found by the Jawas. He acquired the Mandalorian armor from the Jawas to defeat the mining collective and free the town. And Vanth has used the armor to protect Mos Pelgo ever since, and at this point he's already done more cool stuff with the armor than Boba Fett ever did. Now, I realize I haven't shown Baby Yoda for a little while yet, so why don't I just go ahead and throw an image of him in here to make you all happy? There you go. See, isn't he adorable? Yes, love him, love him. Now, on the way to the dragon's cave, they encounter the Tusken Raiders, who are also hunting the dragon, and they agree to work together to kill it. The initial plan is to use a bantha to draw the dragon out as bait, but that fails, and one of the Tusken Raiders gets eaten. Realizing they need reinforcements, Mando volunteers the townsfolk to help, but this is a problem because the townsfolk hate the Tuskens and the feeling is mutual. Mando and Vance convince them to work together, but the Tuskens promise never to harm the town again in exchange for getting the dragon's carcass so they can harvest the spice from it. The pearl from its stomach. Because you see, the crate dragons, they have a big pearl they keep in their stomach that's really valuable. Now, they try to lure the dragon out of its cave and kill it with planted explosives in the ground because the creature's belly is a weak spot. But the plan fails when the dragon breaks free of the harpoons that are restraining it and survives the explosives. Then the dragon spits a bunch of acid, killing several people. So Mando says he has a plan to kill the dragon. Then he triggers Vanth's jetpack and sends him flying away. It's kind of the same thing that Han Solo accidentally did to Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi, where he hit the jetpack and caused him to fly off. Then Mando provokes the dragon into swallowing him and a bantha that is loaded with explosives. Then he's able to fly out of the crate dragon's stomach, and then he detonates the explosives, which kill the dragon. The Tuskens then butcher the dragon and harvest the pearl from its stomach, and then Vanth gives the armor to Mando, and Mando leaves. Then we get a brief epilogue where we see none other than Boba Fett himself, who's also on Tatooine and obviously has survived the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi. So I guess that armor really is his. Now, last season was largely adapted from a Boba Fett movie screenplay that was never made and turned into a show instead. The first half of last season was pretty slow, but it picked up in the second half. I was wondering what the writing would be like for this season without a previous screenplay to work from, and it pretty much is more of the same. It's simple, straightforward storytelling, nothing fancy. This episode really does feel like a space western, with the isolated town and the townsfolk having to work with a local tribe of natives to deal with a problem. The episode also has kind of a Dune-like feel to it, as the Krayt Dragon is obviously inspired by the sandworms on Arrakis. Now, one thing I'll say is that this definitely feels like it has a bigger budget. The scenes with the Krayt Dragon, they feel very cinematic. And I think they filmed it all in a different aspect ratio, maybe, and it just looks really, really good. So overall, it's a solid start to the season with some great visual effects and solid action. Now, Timothy Oliphant plays the Marshal, Cobb Vanth, and as far as I'm concerned, he's always welcome. If you haven't watched his shows Justified or Deadwood, you should definitely check them out. They're really good. Anyway, this series doesn't really promise you a whole lot other than just a good time watching Star Wars, and honestly, isn't that what all of us really want? Just to watch Star Wars and enjoy it without having to have identity politics or far left talking points peddled to us? Anyway, thumbs up on this episode. Now, if you've seen this episode, do you agree or disagree with my review? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this review informative, please like this video before you leave. And also please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. And I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, and I also forgot, I haven't given you any more Baby Yoda, so here's another shot of him to make you all happy. Enjoy.